Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, and I'm here at the Vol. We are here to talk about how to take system image backups of your PC using Hyber Data Protector 2.0. So for our agenda today, we're going to talk about Hyber Data Protector, an app to back up VMware or Hyper-V images, but now with 2.0, it can also back up system images of your Windows PC. We'll go more into Hyber Data Protector 2.0, how it supports NetBak PC Agent, a client app for your PC that connects to Hyber Data Protector so you can take those image backups. And then we'll go a little bit more into the PC agent, NetBak PC Agent. Then we'll go into how to make a storage space in Hyber Data Protector, how to schedule system image backups, how to make a USB boot drive, which allows you to restore the system image to the same PC or a different PC, and then how to restore individual files or folders. So Hyber Data Protector 2.0, it's for taking system image backups of VMware VMs, Hyper-V VMs, and now also Windows PC images as well. It provides versioning. You can do thousands of versions, and there's no licensing fee. So like a VMware environment, that can save you a lot of money. But now in an office or small business, it's also great for backing up your PCs. So the way this works is NetBak PC Agent. So this is a client app for your PC, and its job is to connect to Hyber Data Protector. And this is what allows you to take those system image backups to Hyber Data Protector. So we can have more than 65,000 versions. So there's many versions in a reasonably space efficient way. It's going to take a full backup of your PC, but then versions after that are more backing up the changes. So the full backup may take a while, but after that, you could take regular backups. Doesn't take as much time, doesn't take as much space for those versions after that. So this is a great feature. And then whenever you want, you can make a boot drive. So if your computer got a virus, you want to restore your image to a previous version, that's fine. If your computer broke, want to restore the image to a different PC, that's fine. Or, from time to time we upgrades, like QNAP gave me a new PC not that long ago. When someone wants to upgrade, they might want to restore their system image to a new and upgraded PC. Also, NetBak PC Agent will link you to Backup Explorer, and this is how you restore individual files or folders, because sometimes you don't want to restore the whole image. Maybe you deleted a file, want to get it back. Maybe you want to undo an unwanted change, so you want to get back a previous version of your file or files or folders. So NetBak PC Agent will link you to NetBak Explorer as well. So this is a picture of what Backup Explorer looks like. So if you see this picture, you see those numbers on the top. Those numbers on the top are basically the days of the month. And so first of all, you click on the day of the month that you want. And then as you see on the 23rd, there's a number 2 under that. So I've taken 2 versions of the 23rd. And so you just click on the day of the month. And if there's multiple versions of that month, then you click on the version. And then it displays all your files and all your folders. And from there, you can click on whatever files or folders you want to download. And so if I want to download a file from 3 days ago, just click that day. If I want to download a file from the same day, but different version, click that version. Once you're on the version, you just select whatever files or folders that you want to download. So this is great for when you don't need to restore the whole image. You just need to undo an unwanted change, get back a deleted file. So this is a very convenient feature to very quickly get back to get what you need to get. So then the other thing you can do is to restore a full system image. So this would be great feature if you got a virus, want to restore the image, upgrade your computer, whatever. So for this, you make a USB boot drive. So you see that little arrow that says pointing next to create a USB boot drive. Is a pretty simple thing to do. You just click that. It'll take you through a wizard, just a few things you have to do to make that boot drive. And then you can use that boot drive to restore the system image on the same PC or restore that system image on a different PC. So just to quickly go over how you make those system image backups in the first place, you need to first have Hyber Data Protector 2.0 running on your NAS. You go to our website and download NetBak PC Agent and install it. And then from here, you are going to enter your NAS IP address, and then username, password, basically NAS credentials to log into your NAS from NetBak PC Agent. And then NetBak PC Agent on your PC will be connected to Hyber Data Protector on your NAS. Then you're going to select an entire device. You are going to select the folder on your NAS that you back up to. And that folder needs to already be set up as a storage space. But that's a very simple thing that we'll hopefully be demoing today. And then in NetBak PC Agent, you can click Backup Now, but you can also schedule backups, maybe once a day, to schedule those backups with versioning. And then once you have those backups, then you have the option to either restore individual files or folders or make a boot drive. And so you don't have to make a boot drive every day. Like it's most of the times you don't need to restore the system image. And you can always like if your computer breaks, you can go on a new computer and from a new computer make a boot drive. That's fine. But whenever you need to restore system image, you can make a boot drive. And it's as simple as click USB boot drive, and you got a drive letter there. And once you've made the boot drive, there's just some simple steps on how to go to your BIOS and restore the system image from that boot drive. So for a simple use case, this could be great for a small business. Maybe they want to just back up all the Office PCs with images to either get back deleted files, undo unwanted changes on files, or restore a PC if there's a virus or broken hardware. So if a PC needs to be reinitialized, they just restore that image on the PC. The PC breaks, they restore that image to a new PC, or every 4 or 5 years or however long it is. Every so often, you might upgrade the PC to your employees, and then you restore that image to a different PC. But also, if it's a small business, they're likely going to use the same NAS as a file server. They might want to use the same NAS as an NVR to do surveillance at the same time. And they might want to use the same NAS with their BoxSafe app to back up company emails, company cloud storage, like back up your Google storage or SharePoint or whatever, back up your storage. And basically the same NAS can do it all, which is great for a small business. So the supported platforms for Hyber Data Protector, or it can back up VMware VMs, Hyper-V VMs, and it can back up a PC if you have Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows Server 2016, Server 2019, or Server 2022. So now Deval is here to do a live demo for us.
All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Deval. I'm the product manager with QNAP. So as Daniel mentioned, that we'll be doing a live demo for the Hyber Data Protector application. So again, it's a free application available from QNAP, and you can just look up Hyper on the App Center. You can look up Hyber Data Protector. And then there's an application update that was released today. I'm just going to do on the current version. So just install the application. Once you install the application, you open the application. And here, since I have a lot of backups done, it will show me how the backups are going. So in the activity logs, you can see all the computers that are being backed up, and if they were successful, if they were having any warnings, any errors, or anything like that. And here you can see a calendar view as well. And you can see how many errors or backups were done on a given particular date. You can also see your repository, which is where your backups are stored. And you can see how much usage is QNAP or Hyber Data Protector using. So yeah, we have backed up data, which is taking 90% of the space. So that's where the information is available. You can also see deduplications available. So if you have a lot of VMs that's having similar data, QNAP can actually use deduplication to be able to save a lot of space. As you can see right here, with all my backups, I'm actually saving a lot of space. It's actually about 240 gigs of savings that I'm actually using by not duplicating that data, and the duplication rate is 28%. So 28% of my data is actually duplicated data, so QNAP will not back up that again and over again. On the top, you will see VMware Hypervisor. We have Hyper-V Hypervisor. So this new application now introduces Windows PC and server backups. Now we have done another webinar on this application that covers VMware and Hyper-V, so you can look up that application or webinar if you want to go through those information. But today we will be focusing more on Windows and server backup. This is the most, actually, for many years I was in support. So a lot of our customers requested a bare metal backup from QNAP. And this is the application that we have available now that does allow you to do bare metal backup. It's still in beta phase, so you may encounter some bugs, and we are aware of some bugs that are currently on the beta phase. And as mentioned, we release an update today, but still in beta phase. So if you have any bugs that you are encountering, just report that to us, and we'll be able to take care of it. A lot of features we do have planned to be enhancing this application, so be look out for that as well. So to back up a Windows and PC server, you just click on the Windows and PC server. First, actually, I forgot about that. First, you need to create a repository. A repository is a folder on the QNAP where the backups will be stored. So I have a repository on my NAS already, but to create a repository, you just click on Create Repository, and then choose a folder on your NAS, and then you can select that, and that will be a new repository. You can create different repositories for different types of backups. If you have a VMware, Hyper-V, or Windows backups, you can create 3 different repositories. So everything is in its own folders. If you want to segregate your folders based off PCs, so you can create one repository for another PC, and you can back up as what I've done. I've backed up all my Windows PC into a single repository. There's no problem doing that as well. So it's up to you on what you want to do. So once you create a repository, let me actually show you the process. Just select the folder, select next, and hit add, and that will add a repository on the QNAP. Now, if you're reinstalling the application and you already have a repository from the previous QNAP NAS, or if you have moved the repository into another QNAP NAS, you can click on relink and then click on the folder that had that repository backup, and then that will relink all the data back to the new QNAP or to the current QNAP. Here you're gonna see all the Windows backups that you've done on the QNAP. You can also initiate a backup from here. And then you can create backup jobs, but this is more for VMware and Hyper-V, and you can do and you can see the job statuses that's have been done on this QNAP, and then also the application logs as well. Now going back to inventory, this is where, as I mentioned, this is where it's going to show you all the Windows, the backups that you have done. Now let's, for example, how do you back up on the QNAP NAS? So first, I've created a fresh new VM for this particular application. So let's say this is your new computer and you want to back this up. Not just new computer, this is the computer that you want to back up, right? So first thing you need to do is go to your browser and just log into your NAS. All right, so once you log into your NAS, open the Hyber Data Protector app. Once you've opened the application, you can go to Windows Server Backup, click on Add Inventory, and then you need to download the Agent application for your Windows computer. So I'm downloading that right now. This is the Agent application that you need to download on the new computer or the current computer as well. This is the Agent application you'll be using, or will be used by your computer to do a bare metal backup. Now, as I mentioned, this is a bare metal backup. So let's say if you lose this computer completely and you want to restore to a brand new computer, you can always restore the whole PC into its current state on a fresh new computer. Once you download the application, open the file, allow the permissions, and then let's go through the setup. Select the language, agree for licensing, and install. Select the location for the folder to be installed, and then click on install. Now, if you guys have any further questions or concerns, you can always post them on the questions page, and I'll go through them once we have some time in the demo. Right, once you have that, just click on Launch Application, click on Finish, and click on Start, enter the IP address for your NAS. Enter the username password for your QNAP NAS. And it's going to start creating an HDP inventory. So we're going to wait for a few minutes. This is where it's going to show you what you want to back up. So if you have multiple volumes on the computer, you can select all the volumes, or if you just have one volume, which is a C volume, you can select that. And this is going to your Q tier NAS, which is my QNAP NAS name. Click on select. And then now it's going to show you multiple repositories because I have two different repositories. So you can select whichever repositories you want and then click on select and hit next. Here you can set up a schedule. So you can set up a schedule where you want to set up a backup daily at this given time every day. You can also do on the weekend or weekdays or certain days of the week as well, or you can do monthly backups as well. You can also trigger a backup event by if you lock your system, it's going to start a backup job. If you log out, it will start a backup jobs as well. You can also do that as well. And then you can set up a retention policy here. So you want you can set up retention policies. We can support up to 65,000 or almost 66,000 snapshots or versions. And you can ask the QNAP to keep last 5 versions. Now, if you do monthly backups, that will be your last 5 months of data. Or if you want to make it simple, you can ask the QNAP to keep last a certain amount of days or certain amount of months, even years of backups. So you'll keep that version for that many days or that many weeks as well. Once you have done that, you hit next. And then by encryption is enabled by default. So if you want to, so this will be encrypted when it starts transferring data, it will be encrypted connections. And then you can also do compression as well if you want to do if you want to compress your data when doing a backup, you can also do that as well. And also, what does the app should do after it finishes the backup? Should it keep running? So it will keep your computer as is. It will turn off your computer as well, or you can also put your computer into sleep mode as well. And you can also, if you have multiple network ports, connected, you can also select manual and select which network port you want to use for your backups as well. So this is a great method. So because sometimes you have a computer that's connected directly to your NAS as well via a network cable on a second network port. So you can ask the QNAP to use that port rather than your main network. So that way you don't block down your main network. So these are the settings you can do. Once you have done that, hit next and hit create. And that's where it's going to start creating the backup job. And then that's when you can start doing a backup job. Here you're going to see overview, job history, logs, help, if you want to have that information. Now, another important thing on this application is to create a boot drive. So this is where you can create a boot drive. A boot drive is where the QNAP will, let's say if you lose a whole computer and you want to restore this, you need to boot from that USB drive. So you need to plug in a USB drive I think it at least requires 1 gig of space on that USB drive. Once you have done that, click on Create Boot Drive and click Next. I don't have a USB plugged in, but if it's plugged in, you click on Next and it will start creating a boot drive and you can use that. I'll show you a quick way to restore this, but that's how you can do as well. Let me show you a computer that has multiple backup jobs that I've done with the QNAP. So this is my this is the laptop we're actually using for demo, and this is a laptop I'm using to backup, and I have multiple backup jobs done. Now you can, as I mentioned, you click on backup now to do another backup. But another important thing you can do from the application is Backup Explorer. Backup Explorer will open the HDP app on your NAS, and it will show you a calendar and it will show you your data as well. So yesterday I've done 2 different backups, 2 different times, and today I did a backup as well. Now let's say if you want to let's say your computer is running fine, everything is running properly, but you lost a few amount of data, right? So and you just want, let's say you deleted a file on your computer. Let me open up a file on the computer. Let's say let's delete this file and this one as well. Now, let's say if I want to restore that particular file, so I can go to yesterday's date, and I only done the main volume as my backup, so I can go to the C drive that I have. It was in the downloads folder, so I can go to, I think it's under users, right? Yes. Users, my personal user, and under downloads, I can see the file that I had from yesterday, and I can download that particular file on my computer. So now the file is available on my computer. So that's how easy it is to restore a particular file if you wanted to. So you can see all the files and folders of your computer on your main NAS. You can start restoring the files and folders from any computer that you want as well. Or so not from any computer, from this computer if you want to restore something that you want to do. And you can also, as I mentioned, because of versioning, you can do yesterday's date, yesterday's date. If you have multiple versions for that yesterday's date, you can select which version you want to download as well. So you have a granular control of where you want to restore from. This is not just, it's not only for deletion, right? For example, you're working on an Excel sheet yesterday and you made some changes today and you want to compare that to yesterday's data, you can just go back to Backup Explorer, restore yesterday's Excel file. Not only you have your current Excel file that you're working on today, but you also have something to compare from yesterday as well. So now you can have 2 different versions of the same file and you can compare what changes you have done as well. So that's a great method or way to also use Backup Explorer, not to restore a particular file, but also you can restore multiple versions of the file for comparison. So that's another method that you can actually use as well. That's how easy it is to restore a certain file from the computer. There's no complicated method. It's just go to Backup Explorer and you can start restoring whatever file you want to restore. Another thing I'm going to show you, or we'll try to show you, is how to restore from a bare metal backup. So I'm going to restart this computer. So now I'm using HDMI to USB converter to show you a physical computer that's that I'm using. So I'm going to restart that computer. I have plugged in a USB drive into the computer, the boot drive that I showed you that the app creates. So as I mentioned, I'll restart the computer and I need to boot to that USB drive. So I'm gonna when it's coming to BIOS settings, I need to press whatever button I need to do for booting up into the USB drive. So the boot menu, basically. All right, right here I can see the boot drive. So that's my if you can see right here, that's my SSD, and these are the Windows Boot Manager as well as the USB drives that I've connected. It's going to show up as 2 USB drives, but you can select whichever you want. I'm going to select the first one and hit enter, and you just need to wait for the boot menu to finish, and it will start loading into the USB drive. While this is happening, I have a few questions that I'm going to go through right now. Do you support Nutanix backup? No, right now the supported versions of Windows 10, Windows 11, and then the Windows servers that we showed you on the settings. Another question we have is, do you plan to support Mac OS computers? The Mac OS computers were actually supported from a long time, and we used a built-in application from Mac called Time Machine Backup, and you can do a Time Machine Backup to your Windows, to the QNAP NAS using the Hyber Backup Sync application. That is available since many years already. So just look up QNAP and Time Machine, and then there are a lot of how-tos that will show you how to do a backup for your Mac OS into your QNAP NAS. Another question we have is, can it do PC BIOS backup? No, it does not do a BIOS backup. It only does the Windows backup itself. Now, right here, let's go back to, we'll do other questions shortly as well, but going back on the PC that I have, so right here, it boots into this restore wizard, right? So you need to click on get started, enter the username and password. First of all, enter the IP address for your NAS, that the app is installed and your backups are done. Once you log in, it's going to contact the NAS to make sure that you have all the data available. Right, so it's going to show me all the backups for all the computers that I have done on the HDP app. So I just can select the computer that this computer is on. I think this is the computer. Yeah, so this is the computer, and I have two different versions that I have backed up on this computer, and it's going to show me all the volumes for that computer. So I can select, let's say, an older version. I can select newer version, whatever you want to select, and hit next. And then you can do either a system volume restore, where you can only restore a certain volume on the computer, or you can do a full device restore, where it'll restore everything from that date and time you selected. So I'm going to do a full device restore. If you had compression, you can select compression, or encryption is selected by default. Hit next, and it's going to show you the original disk and the target disk. So you can select that target disk, hit next. As I mentioned, if you have data on the target disk, it's going to delete everything on the target disk. Select OK. And then once you have all the information, you can confirm that in a summary page and click on Start Restore, and click on OK, because it will start the restore and it will restart automatically the whole computer. And it's going to start restoring the data. So that's how simple it is to restore a whole bare metal backup from an older backup that you have done on the HTTP app itself. Now, right, so that's it for the main demos. Actually, we're gonna go through the Q&As. Now, if you have any further questions, or if you want to have anything answered, just keep posting on the questions page, and I'll help answer them itself. All right, so we left off on the BIOS question, right? So yeah, the BIOS settings are not backed up on the HTTP app. It's only the main operating system. Another question is, does the versioning function like Mac OS Time Machine function like Mac OS Time Machine? It is a very similar versioning that is related to Mac OS. So it's just very simple. Very similar Mac OS versioning feature. What's the typical compression ratio? It depends upon the data that you have. That will depend upon the compression. We don't have a set compression ratio. I can ask the developers if you have any specific ratio, but I'm gonna post you my email address. You guys can send a question as well if you wanted to, and can you send me your I think John is asking that question. Can you send me your email address? I can follow up on this one as well. For a specific PC, can a boot drive be created with the USB drive connected directly to the PC to the NAS? Right now, we don't have that functionality. I can report this as a feature request to see if we can create boot devices or boot USB drive directly from the NAS. But right now, you need a Windows PC to be able to create a boot drive. Any plans to create bootable ISO images of USB drive? I can ask that question. That's a good question, actually. I can ask that to see if that is in the roadmap for this particular application. But right now, it's only going through the network. What is the best way to test the PC OS backup, especially if there are many versions over time, over the many years?
I suppose it depends how you want to test it, right? There's Backup Explorer, so you can browse through your backups and see all your files, all your folders in each backup. And if the backup worked correctly, then you can see your files and folders from Backup Explorer. So that's a quick way. But if you're talking about testing a boot drive, what do you think of making VM or something? Or
yeah, you can create a VM and then put it through that USB drive to be able to look at the full backups if you wanted to.
next question.
Do we support Nutanix backup? Right now, it's only Hyper-V and VMware that we support. I'll check to see if we have any plans to support Nutanix hypervisor as well. The size of the backed up version looks like the full image size. So right now, I think yeah, I don't think there's a way to show you the actual backup size. But the estimated backup size is going to show you here what is the estimated backup size that you're doing on the HTTP application. So it's going to show you the estimated backup size each time it's going to back up. Right now, this is a 1 terabyte computer, but I'm only using 600 gigabytes. So it's only showing me 600 gigs of data. Yeah, so about it's about the similar on what it is. So yeah, so the estimated backup will show you the actual backup size rather than the full image size.
I can say where it gets really space efficient is when you have a lot of versions, right? Because if you want to have like 100 versions, you're not going to take 100 times as much space. And so it's great to have versions of your image backup.
Another question is, can you start a backup and versioning of specific data folders on the PC? Actually, so this application more focuses on bare metal backup, but we do have another application called Qsync that does similar what you're looking for. The Qsync application will allow you to do like a particular folder that you can back up, including versioning. So let me see if I can quickly set that up for you. May not have set up Qsync on my NAS, but let me see. So this application allows you to do select, it's like a folder level backup, not yeah, so it's a folder level backup, not a full image backup. It's like an alternative to like applications like Dropbox, Google Drive, that will allow you to back up a certain. It's like a sync application basically. So it basically allows you to sync that, and you can select the QNAP not to delete data from. If you delete something from the computer, you can ask the NAS to not to delete that. So So it's like it turns into a backup application at that time. So so you need to install the Qsync application. As I mentioned, I probably wasn't set up for that demo, but let me see if I can quickly set that up for you. So it's basically a backup at that point where as soon as you dump any data on that folder, it will actually copy that into the QNAP, and then you can restore a particular version if you wanted to as well. So that's something that you can do as well. Yes, Qsync does do versioning. Right. Okay. So another question: do we have any plans for hourly backups? Right now, it doesn't look like we have an hourly backup. The trigger events like system log and logout. Maybe you can log out every 2 hours or every hourly, and then it will do a backup job during that time. But right now, we don't have an hourly backup option. I can put that as a feature request on the QNAP.
So what I would say to that is you can click backup now. So if the previous backup is done, you can click backup now. And the first backup will likely take more than an hour, but after that, you're just backing up changes. And so a backup, the next backup should take less than an hour. So, you know, if an hour later you want to click backup now, you could definitely do that. But for right now, you just can't schedule it hourly, but you could manually do it hourly, or more likely manually do it at certain times if you know you made an important change or you know you're about to make an important change.
All right, so with Qsync, going back to John's question, if you can back up certain folders. So here, you can ask the QNAP to back up a certain folder on the computer. So let's say if you want to back up your like documents folder on the computer, you can select that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So on the QNAP, you have to set a folder as a sync folder. Of course, there'll be a Qsync folder by default, but you can make other shared folders in the QNAP, but you have to set them up as sync folders and then link them up with the Qsync app.
well, I need to select another folder. I need to add another folder first. Let me see if I can do that quickly. So on Qsync, there's a default folder on the Qsync. But I can select another shared folder, like the public folder. Once you have done that on the Qsync, now you can add a new folder. Now the public is here. And on the QNAP, then you can, on the computer, then you can select any folder on, and then now it's able to allow you to pair it. And I can, you can click and apply, and then we'll start backing up that folder. And if you go back here on the Qsync, you can do version control, and you can enable versioning, and you can select specific folders. You can select all filed in folders, and you can select the number of versions you want to keep as well. And you can select after delete older versions after a certain amount of days. So hopefully that answers your questions for folder backups.
So yeah, Qsync definitely has its own versioning, and also you're free to take snapshots of your Qsync folders as well. So Qsync has a set number of versions, and then if you have like a hero NAST, you could take 65,000 snapshots of the folder itself. So there's different ways of having versions, potentially a lot of versions if you want.
Oh, we have another question. So we can do a backup over the network, over the internet. I will need to confirm what port HTTP uses. We don't recommend opening ports, but what we recommend is doing like a VPN setup, and then you can do a backup over the network. So once you can set up VPN connections, you can then do backups over the internet, but we always recommend VPN connection rather than opening ports because that's more secure. Any further questions? So for macOS, we'll stick with the time machine option that we have. We don't plan to support with HTTP because we already have that feature available for many years already. Just look up hybrid backup sync application under services, go to time machine, and then you can do a full bare metal backup using time machine backups with QNAP already. So we just will continue supporting that as an option rather than doing a whole new backup option because the Time Machine works much better. And it's a built-in application from Apple, and we do support full backups with Time Machine. So, and we also have tutorials you can go through and then set up your computer and the NAS for backups. So that's where we're going to be using for backup. You also have my email address as well, thavalpanara@qnap.com, and you can always reach out to me as well as USSales@qnap.com. We can continue the conversation as well and answer all your questions and concerns. And if you think that you may want to have new features to be added, since this is a new application, we always are open into taking feature requests. So you can always create a new ticket for a feature request that you want, and we can always you can always get back. We'll always try to implement whatever features that you guys are that we will receive. Thank you for answering. Yeah, no problem, John. If you have any further questions, we're always open to getting more questions as well. And another question is, I was late. So we'll be posting this on our YouTube channel, and also we'll send you, since you joined, you will have your email address as a registrant. We'll send you a follow-up email with the YouTube link to be able to replay the whole webinar and all the Q&As that we have done today. So if you have missed something important, you can always go back, watch the YouTube video, and go through the setup as well.